Ciao am. How's everyone doing? Good? Alright. Today we're going to learn how to solve a system of linear equation by elimination. So far, let's review what we learned. We learned graphing. So what's the idea of graphing? Linear equation means two lines. So you have one line here, and you want to see where they cross. So you're graphing where they cross. Find the point where they cross. Take a look. One line here, find out where they cross. That place where they cross is the answer for the linear equations, the system of linear equations. We did that already. Then we talked about substitution, which we did already. What substitution means? You isolate a variable, get a variable by itself, plug it into the other equation. You need to get a variable by itself, then plug it into the other equation. And today we're going to learn elimination. Now the question is, why we got to learn so many different ways? You know, it's so, why can't we use the same way every time? Well, there's purpose for every different way. For graphing, you notice that when you did it in class, you notice that it's not very accurate. You have to guess the answer. Like, I think it's this, I think it's that. Some people were graphing on line paper and it was a mess, and your answer is going to be different every time, like, because you're guessing, you're estimating. So it's not very accurate. Substitution is great. It's accurate. You could get the right answer, the exact answer. But the problem is you can't substitute everything. Or you can, but it gets more complicated. So we're going to learn elimination to fill in the other gap. So we're going to learn 3 ways to solve a system. And that's the only 3 ways we're going to learn. So take a look. Let's solve this by substitution. You look at this and you're like, okay, can I use substitution? This is a problem where it's not as easy to do in substitution. I want to isolate a variable. Look at this. This x has a 2 in front of it. That's no good. This y has a 3 in front of it. That's hard to isolate. This y has a 5 in front of it. That's hard to isolate. And this x has a negative 2 in front of it. So this is not really good to isolate. So we're going to have problems with this one. If you don't believe me, I'll show you right now. Take a look. I'm going to try to isolate a variable. I'll let you pick. You want me to isolate x or y? Y? Okay, fine. I'll do it. So take a look. 3y equals negative 2x plus 7. Subtracting 2x from both sides. Now what do? Divide by 3 both sides. Everything divide by 3. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 7 over 3. That's fine. Everything I'm doing is correct, but you have to take that answer, plug into the other equation every time you see y. And what you're going to notice is that you're going to multiply by 5 and you're going to get a mess of fractions. Then you're going to simplify some more and get another mess of fractions and then clean it up. It's going to be a mess. And you can do it that way. You'll still get the right answer. But I want to show you a little bit easier way because of the situation. And take a look real fast. I want to erase all this and start over. Now I'm going to do something called elimination. And the idea of elimination is what it sounds like, eliminating. To eliminate, you make sure the x's are lined up, the y's are lined up, the equal signs are lined up, and the numbers are lined up. Everything's lined up, so we're good to go. If they're not lined up, we got to put it in the right order so everything lines up. Add them straight down. 2x and negative 2x go away. That makes it 0. Plus 3y and 5y makes it 8y. Equal sign brings straight down. 7 and 1 make it an 8. Take a look. We have a simple equation now. And all you have to do is solve that equation. Isn't that a lot easier than all the fraction? Divide by 8 both sides. We got y equals to 1. Are we done? No. Remember, we have to plug in that answer to find the x value. We have to find a point, x comma y, because we're finding where the lines cross, and they cross at a point. So, which equation do I plug in, the first one or the second one? It doesn't really matter. Your choice. So go ahead and choose. Which one would you like? The first one? Fine, whatever. I do whatever you ask me to. I'll plug into the first one. 2x plus 3y equals 7. That means every time I see a y, I put in 1. So 2x plus 3 times y. What's y? 1 equals 7. 2x plus 3 equals 7. 3 times 1 is 3. Minus 3 from both sides. 2x equals 4. Divide by 2 on both sides. X equals 2. What does that mean? That means my solution is 2, comma 1. That means these 2 points cross at that 2, comma 1. These 2 lines cross at that point 2, comma 1. How do you know if you're right? You just on a test go, oh, there I go, I did it, it has to be right. No, you got to plug it in, check your work, make sure you're accurate, make sure you're right. So that means 2 for x, 1 for y. Look at this. I'll plug into the first equation. 2 for x, that means 2 times 2 plus 3 times 1 equals 7. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3 equals 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 equals 7. That's good. Now we have to do the other equation. Not just one, both equations. Take a look at the second equation. Negative 2, x is 2 plus 5 times 1 equals 1. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus 5 equals 1. 1 equals 1. That is also correct. Therefore, this is the answer for both lines. How do you guys feel? Good? Alright, next problem. Let's take a look. And take your time with these videos. Don't rush through them. Don't go, okay, really work on these problems. Really understand what you're doing, because when you come in class, we're going to work on harder problems and make sure you really, really understand this. Take advantage of this. I know this new idea, sometimes people like it, sometimes people don't. And always when you have new ideas, you're going to have people who hate it. They like the old way, but it's changing. The world is changing. Everyone, and talk to my college students now that were in my class, and they say everything's online now. Everything has to be online. So hopefully this helps you prepare for you, because I just think about you and I want to do what's best for you. If this doesn't work, I'll admit I'm wrong and we'll change it up, but I really want to give this a try. Take a look. I'm going to add down, but I noticed a problem already. When I add 3x and 4x, that makes 7x. When I add 2y and 5y, that makes 7y. Nothing eliminates. So what do I do? I'm kind of stuck here. But hold on. Remember, I can multiply an equation by any number. Both sides, right? Every single one by a number. So why don't I make the numbers the same, but opposite sign? Take a look. I have a 3x and a 4x. I could both make them 12x and negative 12x, and when I add them, they'll go away. Look at that 2y and 5y. If I both make them, let's see, what can 2y and 5y make? If I both make them 10, then they'll eliminate and go away. So I have a choice here. I can eliminate the x, or I can eliminate the y. What would you like to do? You want to eliminate the y? Okay, good. Let's eliminate the y. So one at a time. First equation. How do I eliminate the y? I have to make them both 10. One is 10y, one is negative 10y. How do I make the first one 10y? Take a look. 2y, if I multiply by 5, everything, I get 10y. Take a look. This becomes 15x plus 10y equals negative 30. Everyone see that? Now second one, I want to make this also 10y. So 5y becomes 10y by multiplying by 2. But not 10y, but negative 10y. So I have to multiply by a negative 2, because when I add it down, I want to eliminate. That becomes negative 8x. That becomes negative 10y. And make sure you keep your sign. Sign's so important here, because the sign can make or break a problem. 16. Add them straight down. This goes away. This becomes 15 and 8 makes 7. X equals negative 14. Solve for this. Divide by 7. X equals negative 2. There's your first answer. How do I find that second answer? I plug into the equation. Any one you want. So first one or second one? I'm looking at this. I'm thinking first one again, because the numbers are smaller, but it doesn't really matter. So first equation says 3x plus 2y equals negative 6. 3x, what's x now? Look over here, x is negative 2 plus 2y equals negative 6. Negative 6 plus 2y equals negative 6. Add 6 to both sides. 2y equals 0. Divide by 2 both sides. Y equals 0. Here's my second answer. So my solution is negative 2, 0. How do I know this right? Plug it in. Plug in 2. 3 times 2 is 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Plus 2 times 0 is 0. It's negative 6. Good. Plug it in. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Plus 0 is negative 8. Let's try one more. I'm going to do a harder one with fractions because you guys need to get comfortable with fractions. Let's go. Take a look. Same idea. I want to eliminate a variable, but they don't match. So I have to make them match. I'm looking at this. I can make the x's both 15 because 3 and 5. I can make 15. I can make the y 6. I think I'm going to make the y 6 because already there's a negative there and a positive there, so I just don't have to multiply by negative. How do I make them 6? I multiply the top by 3. That becomes 9x plus 6y equals 15. I multiply the bottom by 3, or multiply the bottom by 2. I got a 10x minus 6y equals 6. Add them straight down. Take a look. This goes away. This becomes 19x equals 21. Woo, divide by 19. X equals 21 over 19. Wow, this is awful, isn't it? Well, that's okay. We're going to learn how to deal with fractions here. Plug it back in. Now, plug it back into the first one or the second one. I'm thinking the first one again because they have smaller numbers. But it's your choice. Once again, plug into the first one. 3x plus 2y equals 5. 3x, what's x here? 21 over 19. Plus 2y equals 5. Alright, then all you gotta do is solve for y. Multiply that. That becomes 63 over 19 plus 2y equals 5. Minus 63 over 19 both sides. Minus 63 over 19. This goes away, leaving a 2y equals common denominator. Looks like 19. So multiply top and bottom by 19. 19 times 5 is 95. So this is 95 over 19. Let's use a different color. 95 over 19 minus 63 over 19. That becomes 32 over 19. So this is going to be 32 over 19. Alright, how do I get rid of that 2? I could divide by 2, but look at that. When I divide by 2, I'm going to get a fraction over another fraction, and that gets kind of complicated. So what are my options? I could actually, instead of divide by 2, why don't I multiply by 1/2? I multiply by 1/2 both sides. Hopefully the video doesn't cover this up. Take a look. Cancels, leaving a y equals. That becomes 32. Oh, actually you could cancel that. Cancel that, leaving a 16. So 16 over 19 without reducing. Ta-da! So it looks like I ran out of room. Let me write on the side. So my solution is 21 over 19, comma 16 over 19. Alright, this is something I would give you on the test. Make sure it's a point. Alright, how do you guys feel? Whew. This looks a little messy after I look back at it, but I think it's good. So, you're expected to do this. I know I spent some time doing this, and hopefully you could do this in class. So if it's overwhelming right now, it's fine. But all I care about is that you understand this idea of concept of multiplying something, eliminating it, and getting the answer. If you understand this, you're good to go. We will work on this in class. No problem. But hopefully you'll be able to do this by the end of the unit so you can take the test. Alright, that's it, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.